Girl,
Oh,
Erica Rowe, what's
no.
happening?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all, I do feel like I'm walking into the lion's den. I'm like, wait a minute now. I don't even know what we're gonna really be talking about. I know you can come out of left field with stuff, but hey.
You don't know me like that. You don't know me. You don't know me that well. So
I know you well enough. How about that?
okay, that's fair. That's fair. I do have a track record. I mean,
Just a little bit.
I just feel like, all this scripted stuff is not necessarily the best
It's not.
interview.
Yeah,
We've had some great conversations,
we
and
have.
you're doing some amazing things. Everybody, I'm Mark Wiggins. Welcome to Off the Bench, and I am with Erica Rowe. Now, Erica, if you've been following along, which I hope you have been, I don't do bios, I don't do introductions outside. It's my girl. So I think you need to go ahead and let the people know who you are and what you want them to know.
Okay, first of all, I ain't his girl. Okay, just so you know, right here and right now, folks.
We need to start over and restart this. I'm gonna edit that out. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh, I can't love you anymore though. But honestly, thank you so much for this opportunity. Folks, I am Erica Rowe. Where do I live? I am in Northern Virginia, local. It's not because we're crazy, although there are some crazy people out there. Just saying, we're gonna keep that on, just keeping it real. But Loudoun County, Virginia, I am a proud and blessed wife of 27 years to my king, Charlie Rowe. And we have two young kings. Isaiah is 21 and Joshua is 15. I consider that a great achievement on my part. God has really blessed us. What else? Let's see, I'm a wearer of several hats. Oh my gosh, when you met me, Mark, I think, I had my massage business then, right?
Yep, you're masseuse.
Had my massage business. So I've worn a few entrepreneurial hats over the years. And so, yeah, I actually have to think about this because every time I say it, I'm like, I'm still a massage therapist. It's just that I'm not an actively practicing massage therapist. So no, do not reach out for massages. That door is closed. But with that being said, let's see, in 2020, I like to say progressive positioning instead of pivot. I did a progressive positioning in 2020 out of massage. And honestly, it was like the best exit strategy ever. Folks, I am not being insensitive to, what so many folks dear and close to me have experienced during this pandemic, losses and, disappointments. But for me, it was such a blessing. That was the best exit strategy for me because I was ready. I literally was obedient to expanding my massage business, right? A great opportunity came along, even though in my heart of hearts, I was so ready to be done, but I was being obedient because that's what we do. Nonetheless, fast forward 2020, I closed that practice. And at the end of 2020, after much deep diving and mentorship, I, had the amazing opportunity to start Business Brand Ambassador. And that essentially came out of looking back at being a solopreneur with my massage business. I essentially had to shut my practice down to go out and network in order to bring the business in. And that was not right. And so I always wished I had another me. Like, gosh,
we can barely deal with one we got right now. So I'm glad it's not to you.
You know what? Can I please have my moment?
Strong.
Can I just please have my moment though?
Sorry,
Thank you so much, folks.
Carry on.
Disrespectful. Nonetheless, but yeah, many entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, we experience that where we really wish we had a team or, just someone else to go out and market and our brand and with excellence. And so that kind of stuck with me. And so with Business Brand, it essentially is making strategic connections for my clients, as well as representing them in the community, their brand in the community. And so that's what I've enjoyed doing for the past year. My business is a year old. I'm so excited. November was a year old. Yes. And what it really ultimately means for me is to continue essentially what I've been doing or we've all been doing, being unofficial ambassadors, right? You know someone, you make a connection. You know, you are the epitome of an ambassador, right? The connector. And so that's essentially what it's about. It's building that long-lasting relationship. And because, you know, being in the community, the entrepreneurial community, and, you know, for a few years, and those relationships that I built in my massage business have now paid forward in business brands. So now I have all of these connections that I can make for my clients and funnel their ideal clients back to them. So I pass the baton once I make that connection. And so I've had a really great year building business brand ambassador. What else you want to know about me?
Well, you covered a lot. I don't know what I'm gonna say. Yeah, okay, just had to wind you up and let you go because you got into that. Erica, talk to me again. I thought you moved out of the masseuse business longer ago than you said. It's like
okay. So
in
yes,
a couple years, right?
Right. Okay. So let me preface this by saying, to all the queens out there who have been criticized or judged or whatever for exploring other avenues, let me tell y'all, it is a blessing to be this type of person who takes jumps. I leap. So going back to what you just said, mentally, I was done with massage for many years. So I've been doing it because I am still great at it. I'm not going to be lied to you. I'm just saying it's from him. However, mentally, I had withdrawn for quite some time.
Okay.
And so I was always looking for opportunities to push it to the side. So I can see how it's like, wait, I thought you were done with massage, but it was always in the background while I was, exploring, there goes that word again, exploring other opportunities as well. So yes, so to answer the question, it hasn't been years.
Because right after we met at the networking event, which was another feature writer in the magazine, Stephanie DeBerry.
Yes, Miss DeBerry. Oh, my girl, DeBerry.
You talk about connector in the community.
Listen,
I joke her today. She about that van. I said, did you have another pose? Because you and that hair have been like that way since 2014. I just like here, you got a little cross. I was like, Steph, can you get another picture? But she's iconic in the community.
I love me some
Stephanie. We met at her founders,
yes.
Right. But when we met though, right was coming up was my birthday party. I think it was 51. And I asked you to be the MC because you were moving like, I'm gonna be an MC. I was like, where are the turntables? Where the mic? And you're like, no.
Not that kind of MC.
Mistress of ceremony. I'm like, oh, okay. I was looking for
not the chick, not the no.
Yeah, I'm an 80s baby. I was looking for the DJ and the hype man. But anyway, you MC'd my birthday party, which was absolutely hilariously funny and perfect. Did you do more of that at that point in time too? Was that part of your transition out or into the branding ambassador stuff?
Yes. So actually, yes. So that started another avenue, another explorative avenue for me, because I've been doing it like, private events, family stuff, if folks say, hey, we're having a party, I'm like, oh, count me in, take that mic, right? So yes, so I was branching out into doing that more professionally. And what actually happened, thank you again for that. Again, folks, this man right here giving us opportunities, man. Listen, if you say you want to do something, he's like, get off the bench. Off the bench now. Go off the bench. What you doing? So in addition to doing that, yes. So since then, oh my gosh, let's see, a couple of different events that I hosted, the One Sparrow charity lip sync battle for like 3 or 4 years. Yes. And then Loudon, Businesswomen of the Loudon fashion shows, a couple of those. And then the YMCA Chocolate Galore, that was the last MC, hosting thing that I did. And then of course I've done some private MCing, like, a private wedding as well.
Now,
But yes,
you still MC or no? Like, do I need to bring you on for the May event, or are you retired?
listen, I'm open. Talk to me now.
Look, you
Talk
don't
to
play
me.
with me.
Hey.
You know I'll do it. You know I'll do it. I'll do it.
Listen, I know. Listen, here is where I just, there was a time when I used to say, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I should. Now I'm like, God, I am so open to all the channels of opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
I will learn as I go, if that's the case.
Right. You're kind of speaking. Again, we have a lot of people who watch this show. They're looking for encouragement, and we're gonna go back to something you said a little bit earlier. But right now, I'm gonna stick with you, and you kind of led into my word of the year, which you explained to me. What you have been doing has been willing to do. You've been willing to be open to the opportunities. Right? You said I jump, I go, but you have to be willing to jump. Most people aren't willing. They got all the ideas and they've got all the data. There's this one last critical step, which is the actual off the bench move that
the execution.
They're not executed it yet, right? So you took those moves and took several jumps. So speaking of word, do you have a word of the year? What do you anchor in on to keep you moving forward?
Yes, it's funny you said that. There's this one book that really changed my life. For years, I'll admit it, for years I was that person. It's like, oh, what's my word of the year? Oh, and it would be something fanciful. It would be like a pretty word, something that just, okay, that will be my word. And so at the top of 2021, I was given a book called One Word, right? And it's based on faith. Right? Like your word should not be so shallow. You really have to take the time and wait for God to give you that word. Right. And so at the end of last year, I was in no rush at all. I said, you know what, God, I know what I need to do at the top of the year is just really take the time and really plug in like what, and I asked, I said, God, what do you want my word to be this year? Because I really feel like when we choose the word, it should not only resonate with just us. The word needs to spread. It's a lifestyle. It literally should have a ripple effect with the people around us. So I didn't want to just take it as, okay, what's my word? It's more of what is my word and what is the impact overall? And so, I had a couple, every day I'd be praying, reading. One word came to mind. I was like, oh, that doesn't really speak to me. Like it doesn't, give me that. And, I was in church one day and the speaker was saying, as we're coming up on, the new, as we just started the new year and, we're all, taking different paths. And he used the word become, and then he used the word becoming again. And I thought, and it hit me right in that moment, because for me, it's not just, okay, the word is becoming. What it encompasses for me is how far I have come from, where I am currently exploring everything that I'm doing right now. And then that's leading to the future. So it all ties into this one thing. And so every day, at least I try to be every day. Let me just be, I don't want to be a lying Christian on your show. Most days, I wake up and I ask God, how can you use me today? How can my word expand someone's life today? How can it impact someone else's life today? Right? Because for me, I'm forever becoming better. I'm forever becoming greater. I'm forever seeking more, wanting to do more. So that word becoming for me, it's more than just, it's what I've come to be. It's the expectancy. It's the, oh gosh, I can't wait. I can't wait. That's really, so my word is becoming.
Nice. I feel you on all levels of that. And I'll say this when I'm talking about my word of the year. And if you all happen to miss that discussion, you can go back to the Facebook page and it's posted there. I also talked about in the January issue of Off the Bench magazine, which you can find there, or go to our Instagram page at OTB Magazine. But I got to talking about how your word of the year should really touch you every single time you use it.
Mhm.
Every single time. I found myself using, last year it was until, right? I made a mug with it, had a t-shirt, whatever. I got stuff coming for Willing. I just hadn't got a chance to do it. But
Right.
I found myself using until often.
Yes.
And saying until, I would until ... And what do you, until what? Until it gets done, until I get finished, until I'm not gonna quit, until it changes, pray until, hustle until, all until
Exactly.
a result is derived. And that's kind of where I went. And same thing with willing or willingness. What I'm finding already this year is the ability to be more open, like you said, to changes and be willing to make moves I was unwilling to make last year. The conversation that I went back to when I got my word was they were talking about people and their attitude, like this person's lazy, a procrastinator, and this, that, and the third. And the person said, no, that's not true. They're just unwilling. I was like, hold over. I'm around the road, rewind. I was like, what? Say it again. And it was just talking about their unwillingness
right.
to do it. So i.e. they're not willing. And I want to be willing to do what's necessary. So now I'm willing to be the better leader, willing to be the better, provider at the home, or whatever your thing is. That's right. And you need to be motivated. It needs to be showing up in your actions, right?
Everything. Yes.
That is
I
awesome.
agree. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing your word. And I appreciate it's becoming. I love it. Now, you mentioned something early on about your transitioning, and which a lot of entrepreneurs and business people don't do. And that was, I think you said you got coaching, or you sought some counsel or
mentorship. Yes.
Explain that process and what it meant for you and what happened during that.
First of all, for the persons, entrepreneurs out there who feel like coaching or mentorship is a bad word, right? That's really coming from, I believe, that's really coming from a place of not self-imposed, but people impose beliefs, which now becomes your self-imposing belief, right? For me, over the years, I have been blessed with, and for the most part, it's been females, which is incredible. They're one of my mentors. I joke about it, but I essentially stalked her because we were walking out of a networking event, and her energy, everything, it literally just spoke to me like, oh gosh, I want to be around this lady. And I said that to myself. And so, and I'll say this, as we talk about, just that energy and manifestation and visualization and what we thoughts create and all of these different components, right? The fact that I had that thought, it stuck with me. And so fast forward, just in another conversation, her and I weren't even having that conversation overall. It was someone else through network, right, connections, that said, oh, Erica, her name is Tina. Tina is doing this event, and, she would love for you to come out. And that started a relationship. And I just remember thinking how gracious she was in sharing information. Me being an entrepreneur, she would just start depositing things into me. Okay, this is something you might want to consider. And let me also say this, we also have to be mindful of discerning who speaks into our lives. That's so important, right? We got to guard our eye gate and our ear gate, because everything, leads to the brain. But for me, it just felt right in my spirit. And we developed this amazing relationship. And fast forward into 2020, she was starting she had just about started a program that it was essentially for me. I was the transitioning entrepreneur who didn't have a clue what the next steps were. And so that gave me such the support and you know what, Erica, you're not alone in this whole have no clue at 48 yeah, I was 48 at the time, wanting to do something else, just knowing that there was something else, so much more to get done. So that mentorship, that support, that coaching, that it did everything for me. And so that was one coach and mentor. And then another coach and mentor that I have, her name is Tasha. And it was great because I had two different type of coaching sessions. So Tasha is from a mindset, abundance coaching. And then of course, Tina is the logistic lady, the strategy, so it worked in tandem. It was just such a beautiful marriage for me at that time. So I highly recommend, we can't do this alone. We're entrepreneurs. There's no way we should do this alone. Invest in coaching.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the share. And again, people come on the show and sometimes we get to ask questions, what are you doing to maintain? How are you getting yourself together each and every day? We're off the bench and we doing this the third, but I too have coaches, right? I have a coach and mentor that I talk to. You have to surround yourself with the right minded people. And shockingly enough, there's not a lot of people that do what I do. And I have a tight core from years and years of speaking and networking and writing around that I can lean on, who understand my crazy thoughts. It's not normal to run to a stage with a microphone and lights. Oh, my turn. Yes, people don't think that's normal. They usually run to the back of the room. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to you if you're trying to be the back of the room. But or
Exactly.
this entrepreneur new thought I've got, or this new thing I want to try, it may not go past me just walking through the steps, but it's okay. It's matter of fact, it's necessary to get it up and get it out so you can make room for something new. So if you're holding on to something, you need to kind of get it out there. Now, as we move on to where you are right now, talk about what you're doing now, your new programs, your new things that you're working with in your target market.
Okay. Thank you. I'll say this real quickly for our audience as well. You're talking about, you just mentioned, when we're presented with opportunities, right? It's it's either to say yes and figure it out later. So for our audience, I want to say that, so Mark, over the years, we've always, we stay in touch-ish. And December I think is when you kind of say, hey, we got to connect. And there was a moment when we were speaking and you had, pitched the magazine, we're sharing more about OTB magazine. And I thought, and you're like, yeah, I need you to be a contributing writer. I'm like, say what now? Hold up.
I don't think I sound like that, but go ahead with your story.
You did. But I joke about it. However, I also had to stop myself in my thought process too, because immediately I was like, I'm not a writer. What are you talking about? I'm not a writer. And I thought, Erica, what is wrong with you? How could you? This is an opportunity for growth and exposure. And so I want to thank you publicly for that, because even in putting out my first one, oh my gosh, it's coming out soon. Nervous. Okay. I'm excited. Okay. Right? So thank you for that. Thank you for giving me yet another opportunity. You're so awesome. So what did you ask me again?
What you doing now? That's when you outside. Thank you, by the way. Thank you so much. I received all of that. What are you doing now, Eric Rowe?
Okay.
Oh, have mercy.
I know, I'm like a squirrel. So a couple of different things. So yes, I am, as I mentioned, I still am doing the emceeing and the hosting. I'm really branching out more into the corporate component of that. Mm-hmm. So for corporate events, so I'm really open to that, as well as, moderating and so forth. And then on the business, let me talk about my Evolve series. Because I'm super excited about that. So the Evolve series, and I'll give a little background to it after. So the Evolve series is essentially, it's a 6-step framework where I help professional women or women in business to truly step up as the most confident versions of themselves, right? And it's more so, I will say it's more so to step in front of a camera or video. It's that headshot. It's, you know, you're putting together like a promotional piece for your business. And, you know, we hear it all the time. I'm sure you do. Folks are like, oh, I can never go on camera. Oh gosh, no, I don't know what to say. Oh my gosh, I could never. And I heard that so often. And then in addition to that, it's how, you know, walking into networking events, how overwhelming and scary that can be for so many of us, right? But if we're business owners, and again, this is geared solely to women, if we are women in business, queens in business, and we're wanting to show up for our business and we're wanting to make the connection, then we're going to have to put on our big girl panties and show up with confidence. And so I help to facilitate. I'm an ambassador, a confidence ambassador for the women in my series. And it has been so amazing to see the transformations of these women. So I have the 4-week series, the workshop. I also offer a 1-day component as well, and then open to one-to-one sessions with women in business. And so ultimately, missing opportunities or being scared to show up at a networking event, it affects your bottom line. It affects your bottom line. And if you want to grow your business, you're going to have to learn to show up confidently. And so I offer that, the Evolve 6-step framework. We go through each of those steps. And by the end, you literally can show up in any of life's situation with confidence. And I like to say, from the boardroom to the bedroom, wink, wink.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I should be. Knowing you, I should be ready for all of that. Absolutely. That's a crazy program. And that's kind of where I picked you back up on the gram. You had moved into the space and you were throwing it out there. And women were like, oh, thank you, Erica, so much. I never thought I could walk on water, but I appreciate you. And they're doing the doggone thing. And I was like, yo, I got an audience that needs this message. And that's when I reached back. I was like, I need you in the magazine. I need you in the message and your platform for that reason, because we have a lot of people who, it just fits with the theme. We're talking about, you know, confirmation and connections and things. And I'm talking about getting off the bench. You're talking about getting off the bench as well. From my perspective, right? You call it want confidence, evolve, show. If you ain't moving from where you're sitting to where you need to go, you're getting off the bench. That's what I'm referring to.
Exactly.
That's why I was like, it needs to be in the magazine. And I love that you are positively affecting women and getting their confidence up and doing what we need to do. So do you have anything coming up, any events or any, I know you're talking about your Evolve program. Is it online? Is it a course? Is it one-on-one? What is that?
Sure. So essentially the 4-week series is in person. I had to postpone this more recent one due to all this health stuff going on. Prayers that it just goes away. I do find that in-person group connection is so important. And so the next one is going to be April the 20th. Starts, I figure, let's spring into confidence. So that's going to be that 4-week series starting up in April the 20th. However, the 1-day conferences and, opportunities for business owners and or professional women, if you're part of a leadership development, opportunity with your company, then this is a really great asset to add to that, right? Missing that big contract or that promotion because you don't feel like you're good enough for it. That's huge overall. And so I love talking to professional women in business. That's me in general, and just sharing, imparting with them how important it is to, walk like the queen that you are. We got this. We're badasses. I mean, come on now.
Oh, yes, coach. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had a flashback. Yes, coach. Woo! Bring it in. Yeah, and everybody's just again, Erica is now a feature writer, contributing writer in the Off the Bench magazine. You can hear more of her story and more of her platform evolve in the magazine that comes out in February. The February issue comes out. And I'm excited about your article. I'm excited about what you're speaking on. And when someone tells you this, just a little hint out there for those watching, it's always challenging to accept what other people see in you. It's a challenge. It's a challenge to see. I can see things that you cannot see because of the way you're projecting. You're focusing on thing. And this goes for me. So I'm not talking about it ain't me. This is absolutely me. I see what I'm working on and trying to get out, and someone goes, yeah, that, but over here, over this side, or mix it up and then put it over here. And like you said, be open to the opportunity, because you don't know when your off the bench moment is coming. And all my biggest questions will be, when the buzzer buzzes, are you getting them getting in, or are you going to pass it over to someone else? Because opportunities do not go away. They go to the person who's most prepared. And in with Erica, her people ain't gonna be missing. They're not gonna miss. They're not gonna miss opportunities. They're gonna jump. They're gonna be willing. They're gonna be evolving. They're gonna be backflipping all over the place, because they have gone through this training program to open their minds up. So, but thank you for your platform. Tell everybody where they can find you, how they can reach you, all that kind of good stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's see. If you want to hear more about the Evolve series, it is theevolveseries.com, theevolveseries.com. The information for the next series is on there, still building out in terms of for one-day workshops and so forth. They can email me at Erica, Erica, not the K. I don't know who spelled her name with a K, it ain't right. Erica.p.rowe@gmail.com.
Right now. Go ahead, finish up, please. Just finish up.
Erica.p.rowe@gmail.com. But yes, and you can reach me out there at that email as well for emceeing events and so forth.
And in the podcast and stuff, we will have your links down in the show notes, so you can click to you and find you easily. Again, Erica, thank you for coming on to the platform OTB Magazine, becoming a part of the tribe. Everyone, please subscribe to the magazine. Go to offthebenchmagazine.com and register and subscribe. You don't want to miss anything Erica has to say each and every month. She will definitely be back on for some other stuff, because I'll call her for something. That's what's going to happen.
Call me.
In my mind, I already got some stuff percolating. We ain't talked about it yet, but we'll get to it.
Oh, geez. I'm open to opportunities. Wink, wink.
Oh, always, girl, please. About to blow this thing wide open. Anyway, that'll leave that. That's it. But as always, I'll leave you with this. If you can reach your dreams with the step ladder, then they're probably